We're talking today acne, and acne is really when you feel I have spots. It's not like that friend of yours who has beautiful skin. She goes, oh my God, I have two, and there's something you can't even see. I thought today what I'll do is I'd literally do a kind of overview of what is acne, you know, how can you treat it internally and externally? What can you do also long term against the scarring? Now, I'm somebody, I really relate to the concept of having a spotty skin and how much it can affect our self-worth and our feeling about ourselves, because I had acne from the age of 13 to 30. First of all, I was put on, you know, benzo, that sort of brown liquid that you can clean your face with that basically can rub off your whole face. Very, very strong. Then at boarding school, I did the toothpaste moment, which is just like crazy. Don't go there, you know. Girls at school, if they are all together, they kind of think, oh, toothpaste, fantastic, because maybe they don't have access to anything else. But I would avoid the toothpaste moment. Then I went into that kind of let's burn it off with something. So tons of Marabadescu kind of drying lotions, and that caused that real bad difference, like a sort of like the rift in the ocean. You know, one bit's going one way and one the other. So you've got some incredibly dry skin from where you're zapping, and then you have your skin on the outside. And I think that can actually contribute to very bad scarring. So I did that route. Then I went on a variety of, I went on Dianet, which is a contraceptive pill, to get my hormones level sorted. That didn't work. Then I went to tetracycline, which is a antibiotic. That didn't work. Then I did Minocin, which is another antibiotic. You take morning and evening, and that didn't really work. And then I did Oractane. I went to see a private doctor, and I remember at the time my salary was like 12 grand a year, and I spent literally £500, £600 a month on Oractane. He said, do 60 milligrams a day, which I did for 7 or 8 months, and it went, and it never came back. Until I went into early menopause. Now, let's just talk about different types of spots. You've got blackheads, which are those things that generally can be on the nose or here or some weird lurking place, and you can kind of press when they're ready, and they come out like a sort of, they just come out like a little bloop sort of thing. That's a blackhead to me. A whitehead is at the beginning of a whitehead's journey. It can be, you can press and you can get a little white worm, but it can come milia, which means it's sort of gone back in on itself, and it's those people who feel they have little lumps under their skin. Chloe suffers a little bit from milia, and you can see that little whiteness, but they've become hard, and those are you have to be much more careful how you treat those to actually do extractions. And I do advise, and not a good time now in COVID, but to do extractions with a professional. If you want to do extractions yourself, there's lovely tools like the Tweezerman has a tool which just presses either side, and you can just do a little bit of that. The best thing to me is just warm your skin up a bit and try this whole thing of steaming. I'm not a huge fan of steaming, because I think you steam your skin and then the steam goes away and then the pores immediately close. It's just, I believe more in the Eve Lom theory, who I loved. Eve Lom, the facialist, not Eve Lom, the products. Because when I had bad skin, I did go and see her, and how she would help me is she would really massage my face and just warm up, and she would soften the milia. You know, she literally spent enough time nurturing things, softening them, and then she could get them out. It's like they're strained inside there, and you need to soften them. That's what I do believe in milia too, but a professional will help you. Nodules you can get, and pustules and cysts. So cystic acne is when it's really throbbing and red, and I think in perimenopausal, some women get that throbbing cystic, you know, it comes up, it's huge, you feel it. You feel it with that moment of, oh no, one is coming up, as you touch your chin and you go, oh no, you know, that feeling. And then sometimes they come up, but they usually come up and they're painful and they go down, and they don't come up and become a huge, you know, whitehead. All right, that's different to me. Now, basic information, it's caused when your hair follicle becomes blocked. And sebaceous glands, which are the glands that live underneath your epidermis, they lubricate your hair growing out of your follicle. And if you overproduce on the sebaceous glands, which, you know, they produce sebum, it blocks it. And in acne, the glands just produce too much sebum. So what Roaccutane does, something like that, is it reduces the levels of the sebum that you're producing. And the excess sebum with dead skin cells forms a kind of plug on your skin, and normally what might be harmless bacteria gets caught in there and it affects the follicle and it causes the spot, all right? So I'm gonna just talk to you about the things you can do. Now, the most important thing you can do is to clean your skin properly. And I can't emphasize enough simple little things like, you know, especially if you're talking, by the way, to teenage daughters, how often do they change the pillow? What goes onto the pillow? You know, if you wake up and you'll have that excess oiliness through those glands overproducing, you might wake up and there's a slight little, like a stain on the pillow. Imagine what's coming back at you, you know, and the bacteria that's coming back at you. So really, really important, clean pillowcases. I quite like silk pillowcases. If you're using a lot of gunky product, maybe not, but silk and linen pillowcase are great. Linen is a sort of, like a lot of linen masks now for you know, us wearing masks during the day. Linen is a natural antibacterial. It's just made in a good way as a fabric, and I think it's a healthy fabric to wear on your skin. Anything with a polyester in it, not good. Going to make you sweat, going to over-examify. So pillowcase maintenance, really important. When you wash your face, washing it properly and washing it twice. So if you wear makeup in the day, one cleansing is going to be for your makeup, and the second cleansing is going to be to really clean your skin. So whatever product you're putting in to help with the active acne or with scarring, because you might have had acne and then the scarring is there, will actually go somewhere and penetrate. Really important things. I'm now going to tell you 5 or 6 that I think are good, very inexpensive to a little bit of things. So if you have adult acne, YourGoodSkin cleanser, it's a really lovely product. It's £9.50 and it's got bisabolol in it, just slightly anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. So it really will help irritated skin. It's like the other end of active skincare, but it's in Boots, it's readily available. You could do that twice on your skin. Just use it once, take off the makeup, and then use it again, or, you know, that's what you could do. From Victoria Health, I love this for people who really like that sort of, you know, botanical, eco-ethical, if you go down that route, and it's called Derma-E. There it is, Derma-E. And Derma-E is tea tree, which is anti-inflammatory, very gentle, calms redness, swelling. Willow bark, which is very good, willow bark. I like willow bark as an ingredient. I don't know how much is in it, but it helps to reduce the sort of largeness of pores. And then it's got rosewood, lavender, and chamomile. But it's a gel, and that's, you know, clean your skin. And when you're doing a gel, I like to really gel with Foreo. I do like things like Foreo as a tool for if you have acne, because I just think it really goes in there. Now, for vegans, this could be good for vegans. Let me just see. Vegan. That one is a good one for vegans. There we are, the little vegan sign. And it's got some active salicylic acid in it. Now, salicylic acid is an ingredient really associated with cleaning up the pores, and it is good to use. I think using it in huge doses is not great. So satin, would that be polyester? You're right, I mean silk. I'm so sorry. Silk is real fabric. Satin is a polyester fabric. Well, you can get silk satin. That's just splitting hairs. All right, then we have Dr. Sam Bunting is a wonderful dermatologist, and she's started to make her own range. And this is her Flawless Cleanser. This is £16. Now, a really important thing is what you're removing, what can block your pores. Makeup for sure, but also SPF. SPF is a phenomenal potential pore blocker if you do not remove it properly at night. And a lot of people who clean their skin don't clean their skin enough to actually really remove SPF. It's a sticky bugger and it will stay on, especially if it's a good one. So very important, and that really reduces, you know, gets rid of the oil, the grime. You can use it twice to clean your skin. So that's lovely. Now, let's say you really have bad acne and you want something which is stronger on the salicylic acid. We're going to get on to vitamin C as well. Sally Cleanse, we love Skingredients. Skingredients is a fantastic Irish woman, have I got it there so you can see it properly, who brought out a range of products. And this has 2% salicylic acid. Now, it's very strong, that, and this is something, just a little bit of instruction. It does say use in moderation. And you know, sometimes we can get over keen on products. Really use this in moderation. We have a lovely lady in our business, Maiko, who has been through a journey of acne, and this is her note. She says, they should instruct use in moderation up to 3 times a week. Definitely correct. Don't make the mistake like I did, oops, to overuse. Not necessary, and it will irritate the skin with overuse, but if you used in moderation as instructed, super soft, clean, clear skin, love. And that's from INKEY, who's obsessive about cleaning the skin properly. That's £20. Is clinical. I also, by the way, get this from Victoria Health. Skingredients, you can order online. She has a website. Is clinical. For everyday cleaning, it's £36. It's quite a lot. But this is an incredible dermatologist brand, and I do think that they make lovely formulas. And this has got sugarcane extract, which is kind of glycolic acid. Willow bark again, which is, you know, a form of salicylic acid, really. Alpha tropopherol, retinol a little bit, chamomile. It's good. And it's not, you know, I don't know if I'd use this to take makeup off. I'd use this to really clean the skin. Now, one that Lila loves is NeoStrata. NeoStrata, I think, are fantastic. And this is their clarifying Mandelic cleanser. It's £24. It's got gluconate lactate, which to me is one of my favorite new ingredients. And gluconate lactate combined with salicylic acid, mandelic acid, will really help the skin texture, so I love it. It helps reduce the pore size, and very good if your skin is quite oily. There were a few questions about my skin gets oilier and oilier during the day. How can I help it? And things like starting with a cleanser with that combination of the willow bark, the salicylic acid, the gluconolactate, those are all going to help to control your sebaceous gland production so that you don't get this overproduction of oil during the day. So cleaning your skin properly, I cannot reinforce it enough. Now, you cleaned your skin properly, you're on a roll, you're excited, brilliant. You've got the right pillowcase. You're using clean flannels every day. You've got a Foreo or some tool that you could use assisting in cleaning, which you clean every night after you use. You don't let everything stay in there. Keeping things clean, cannot reiterate enough. So we've done that, and we've now got a clean skin. What are we going to do with it? So we need to treat the active acne. Now, if you have active acne, because at the beginning, as I described, you're going to have this overproduction of the sebaceous glands, using some kind of acid toner will help to regulate that sebaceous gland and stop it sort of overproducing. So next stage for me, for somebody suffering from acne, is to go to some kind of toner. So I'm just going to show you a few that I like, all different price points. Oh, I'm loving this actually. And then we'll go on to some questions. I think I've got them all. These are different price points. Yes, so INKEY List do a glycolic acid toner. INKEY is a good brand. It's like the ordinary INKEY List typology. You know, they're all similar. Their sort of products are on £20. They usually focus on 1 or 2 ingredients in there. And this is a, you know, I don't know what percentage, 10% glycolic acid that comes from sugarcane. And 10% is quite high. And this is really, it's going to exfoliate, it's going to unglue that dead skin cells that we're talking about. It's just, you know, it's got witch hazel in it, which is nice. Witch hazel is an old-fashioned treatment for acne, but I think it's still good to have. And that you can use every other day maybe and build up into your routine. Then we've got, what have I got next? Pixi Glow Tonic. Pixi, lovely brand. This is one that Caroline Hieron's adores. £10, 5% glycolic acid, soothes, hydrates, helps blood flow, helps your complexion just kind of resurface a bit. Very nice. If you're somebody who has a sensitive skin and you want something that feels that it comes more from that lovely holistic approach and you smell beautiful things when you put it on, I can't recommend enough. And this is also for people not with acne, but who just need to clear dead skin cells. Women who have dry skin, who think to themselves, I need to put on more moisturizer. I sometimes say, actually, you need to exfoliate the dead skin cells off because that's what's making your skin feel dry. Jane Scrivner has a lovely AHA, BHA acid toner. Alpha H, another very good brand. Lila loves this brand, and they do a glycolic toner, mainly glycolic, and a good thing also to balance out those pores. Boom. Now, that's your toners. Can you use moisturizer if you have spots? Yes, you can, because what you don't want to do is kind of dry out your skin thinking that's the only solution. But how you use moisturizer, you know, you can go for a water-based moisturizer, which still has other form of giving you hydration, and it needn't have lots of oil in it. A lot of people are very scared of doing a facial oil. What's really interesting is, for example, that Sunday Riley, who I adore, She has a cleanser for U.F.O, the ultra clarifying cleanser, and this is 1.3% salicylic acid. That is an oil hydration, and it will also help with the drying, cleaning of your spots. So it is possible to put products into an oil-based formula and use it, all right? So you've got active acne and you might have scarring, or you might just have scarring. Now for me, I love vitamin C as a scar and as a scar reducing treatment. And I like niacinamide, and niacinamide is brilliant as an ingredient. So look for things with niacinamide in them, because niacinamide will treat your acne as a serum, but also it can help with scarring. Inky, let's do a niacinamide. A lot of people do things that contain niacinamide. I'm holding this up because I just want you to say, niacinamide, what does that do, you know? And it just helps with, you know, it is a derivative of B3, and it helps reduce the excess oil, blemishes, redness. So I like that. Another salicylic acid, Garden of Wisdom, is also, this is quite strong, but this will actually help to kind of, you know, it's, you've got to be careful. I'm funny about salicylic acid. I like it in the cleansers, but when you're using it, don't go mad and put a ton of stuff on. Just put it on gently, okay? There's a succinic acid, which succinic acid is a different form, and this is meant to be kind of softer on the skin, but works quite well. And quite a few people like this product just as a topical application. So that's a few little ideas. Now, when you've got scarring, so I'm sort of saying niacinamide, succinic acid, salicylic acid, those are the ingredients you can look and contemplate for when your skin is active. But when you've got scarring, I like vitamin C and I like azelaic acid. So vitamin C, to me, breaks down uneven skin tone. And I think vitamin C for every woman of every age is a fantastic serum to use. It comes in many forms. You can get a powdered form, which is a pure form of L-absorbic acid, and that you can apply topically. I've sometimes done that. Julia Hunter does one, Dr. Seabag does one, and those are the purest forms. Then people put them into products, and it has a, you know, you can get different percentages. So if the Ordinary does a 23% and they do a 30%, I prefer, oddly, the 30% because it's less grainy. But there are a few other companies that do nice vitamin Cs, and I'm just going to do a couple of vitamin Cs. I'm just going to do 3, actually, that I have used. And I think daily use of vitamin C can help reduce scarring. So Garden of Wisdom does a 23% ferulic acid, which I adore. It's £16. And I really go even stronger over the spots. Vitamin C paste from Lixia Skin. Lixia Skin I love as a brand. And you can put this on and really massage it in, leave it on for 5 or 10 minutes, and then it comes off. It's a paste. But I sometimes do a little gentle, this is only on, not on active acne, but on if you have had spots. I then do a little bit of microneedling on the scarring, and then gently, I did a microneedling film last week or the week before, and then you can put this on top and it's really going to go in. You're going to feel a tingle, but it's just going to, I think you've got to, if you've got sensitive skin, don't do it. But if you don't have sensitive skin, and a lot of people who have acne have sensitive skin, but some people get this thickening of their skin. I think a reason my skin is not so sensitive is I've got quite a lot of scar tissue, you know, so I can take a bit. DCL has a night booster, Seascape, which is a very strong vitamin C. You take at night, quite expensive, but I love it. The price of these are about 16. That's like, how much is that? I don't know, 108. And the Elixir is 32. Great. Okay, so couple more things I wanted to chat to you about. There's little things you can do, like Lila loves these. These are salicylic acid and green tea. They're little dots you put on your skin. So you have a daughter who has acne, take off the toothpaste, put one of these dots on, and it just penetrates in. It has these little tiny little razor, oh God, I don't want you to be put off. Okay, I'll just show you. So, I don't want to open them up because Lila used them. But you peel it off and it has, you push it on and you feel like tiny little like needles going in, but they're so fine. And then it's just putting the product in. Quite good. Wake up the next day, spot is reduced. It does work quite well. There are some medical sites you can go to. You can go to a dermatologist if your skin is really bad. That's going to cost you though, because any, private treatment is. You can go to some subscription sites. There's 2 subscription sites that I think are very good. There is Skin and Me, which you go on and you take pictures of your skin and dermatologists answer your questions, and then they give you a routine and you go onto a subscription. And it can be retinol-based products to clear up acne and azelaic acid for scarring. And then there's Dermatica, which does the same. And I've had people who've been on both and they like them and they're very good. It's where you can get slightly stronger retinol. And they're nice, the formulations are nice. And also the azelaic acid is a little bit stronger. You can also get azelaic acid directly from your doctor. If you have a nice doctor and say, look, I've got some scarring, could you give me some azelaic acid? And they will, and then you can just topically apply it. Really helpful. Rosehip oil, like Trilogy, do a rosehip oil, but rosehip oil is a very oily oil, and I know I said earlier that you could, do oils. I find that quite a thick, heavy oil, and I think the difference between that and maybe Sunday Riley U.F.O. is I don't feel it's large molecules, and I think the bigger the molecule, the more you can block your pore. Things you can take, because there is a lot of stuff that will help internally. And I think one of the most important things is zinc for reducing inflammation. So you can just go and buy zinc like that. Burdock root helps to detoxify your body, and sometimes we have sort of a need of detoxification. If our body is really full of stuff, it can lead to producing spots as well. So we discussed with Shabir last week, Clear Skin from Viridian. This is a really lovely product because this combines zinc with burdock root, and I do like the combination, so I think that's great. Now I'm going to talk very quickly also about another thing, because when you have, sorry, I've just found the information on it today from Shabir, because I got him to email me, because somebody had talked about what is DIM, and DIM I'm going to read out to you, but there are things you can do. So if you've got perimenopausal acne or that kind of acne, you can look at what contraceptive pill you've taken. You can look at what hormones you're taking for perimenopausal if you're taking hormones. You can also look at supplements that can change your hormonal levels or help with your estrogen conversion, because excess of estrogen can promote spots, which is why when we hit puberty, we're sort of all our estrogen is coming out to say hi, and we get spots, and boys' testosterone is coming out and they get spots. So all those imbalances in our hormones can really have an effect on. So I want to read out to you because I find this really interesting, and it's kind of a new concept as well. DIM, so it's what Shabir wrote back to me, is definitely a compound that most people have not heard about, and I do recommend it for stubborn acne cases and cystic acne where clear skin complex may not be as effective. It's a nutrient derived from cruciferous vegetables and has the following effects. It's a good liver detoxifier, so that's going to be stronger probably than the burdock root. It has a positive effect on estrogen metabolism. This is what I was talking about, so that the byproducts are not detrimental to the body, which is why it's thought to protect women from cell mutations. Also good for other things. It inhibits the conversion of testosterone into DHT, which causes excess sebum production, leading to acne. There are supplements which provide 13C, which is indole 3-carbimol, which is what DIM stands for, and ones that actually provide DIM. Always opt to DIM because 13-C is a precursor to DIM, and it doesn't always occur effectively. The supplement we sell is called Indolplex. So that's really interesting, and it's something that I might think, can I get Lila? Because I like the idea of everything behind that. I'd never heard about it before. Are there any last minute questions that I haven't answered, Amanda, that people have just saying, answer?
One question would be, do laser treatments work for acne scarring?
Yes, they do. There are different laser treatments you can do. I'm so glad you brought that up, thank you. I did CO2 laser. I did it after I'd done the Roaccutane, when my skin was, cured of the spots, but I had very bad scars. Because, can we just talk, please? I mean, picking causes scarring, there's no doubt, and there's ways to pick spots. So really look at good films on how to pick a spot successfully. Try not to touch them until they're ready to come out. But I picked so much that I had this pitting. So I did a CO2 laser, and a CO2 laser is an ablative laser. And the CO2 laser I did years ago was a very, very strong laser, and now that has changed. They have a sort of CO2 laser which is actually not so strong. And it just kind of, imagine you've got like the moon, the surface of the moon, and CO2 laser just slices your skin layers. All right, sounds really scary, but in the most microscopic amount, and it's reducing the difference in your texture of your skin. So when I had it done, my skin went very red. I couldn't let it get dry, so I had to put the sit cream on. I was incredibly red for about a month. And after about 3 weeks, I remember I met Susanna and I said, I've got to get out the house. And she said, how are you? And I said, I'm much better. And I opened the door and I got so used to how red my skin was. And she was like, oh my God. So those things work. The softer CO2 laser now works well. And it's a less rough treatment. And those are good treatments. You can also consider peels. Those can help about with evenness of skin tone and reducing scarring that's more superficial discoloration as opposed to actual physical change in skin consistency. I really hoped that this has helped. And I know how debilitating having acne can be, because I did have it for 17 years. And I know that it can be the thing that makes you just not want to leave your home. And I think it's important to see what you're eating as well. I'm just going to end on that. So if you have a diet which is full of very inflammatory foods, lots of sugar, things like that, really, really, really consider that anything that inflames the skin is going to exasperate your spots and create more. So if you can reduce your sugar intake, that is a good thing. All right, bye.